At various stages of our life, we seek happiness or blissfulness or whatever blissfulness is supposed to mean. So, what exactly is blissfulness? I did not have an answer to what is blissfulness. So, what do you do when you don't have an answer? You turn to your gurus. Who is the guru? This is the guru. This is Shankaracharya, who called himself, who was called Jagat Guru. Let me just explain. So, when one journalist asked him that how can you call yourself Jagat Guru when you're just a guru to a few handful of people, maybe in South India, maybe in North India, but particular communities, that's all. So he smiled and he said, do you understand, how do you understand what is Jagat Guru? So he said, oh, you're a guru for the whole Jagat. Jagat is the world. And he smiled and he said, no, that is not the way I look at it. I look at it as the Jagat is my guru. I learn from everything that I see. I learn from mountains, rivers, animals, people. I'm learning from you. So the Jagat is my guru, is how he defined it, and that just got me. So I think it's one of the best definitions of Jagat Guru. So I also feel like a Jagat Guru, that there is so much to learn, right? So whether it is the Valmiki Ramayana, then there is the versions of it, or rather the translations of it, which Rajgopalachari wrote, Dr. Ranga has written, which is the Dabolim. I'm not sure whether I'm getting the word right, their version. Then there is Ami Ganatra who talks about it. Then there is Velu Kudi Krishnan who talks about it. Then there is Dushyant Sridhar. All these people, all of them are my gurus, and all these people whom I have mentioned are younger than me, right? So maybe somebody is 20 years younger than me and somebody is 25 years younger than me, but there's amazing scholarship, right? So here is the book, and I think it is Rishi Brigu, who goes to Varun, his father, and he says, I want to know what is blissfulness. And his father says, it's when the Atma discovers itself that you are in a state of bliss. So just let me read exactly what he says. He says, the supreme blissfulness occurs only when the Atma consciously becomes aware of its own self. Well, I didn't get it too wrong. When the Atma understands its own self. Now this is complicated, so let me just get to what exactly happened. Brigu went to his father Varun and said, I want to enjoy, or I want to have happiness or blissfulness, and I don't know from where I can get it. So exactly what he said is, how do I identify a substance which is full, absolute and complete, and a substance that is in absolute in terms of time and in terms of form? I want to know such an absolute substance. So Varuna of course said, go and engage yourself in penance and you will be able to find out. When you say penance, it largely means learning, and learning from all these gurus which I mentioned. It could be a mountain, river, animal, whatever, and doing a lot of introspection. Penance does not mean just sitting in one place and saying Ram, Ram, Ram. That's not penance, right? So maybe that's penance for somebody, but the effort of a Bhagirathan to get Ganges to the earth from the heaven, that's effort, right? A lot of effort. Of course, it's a lot of devotion to God also, but yes, a lot of effort. So Brigu went and did a lot of research, whatever it meant, and he came back, and he obviously is a good student, so he came back, and at that stage he could infer something as a result of this penance, and he says, this body is the supreme substance, and this is the one substance which has competence to understand and comprehend everything. The substance that is capable of understanding and comprehending things is more supreme than the things which are being understood. So he came back and said, this body is absolute, and this body is the answer that I am seeking. So when he came back to Varun Bhagwan said, go back and pray again. So he went back and he realized that the human body is ultimately going to be destroyed. So it can't be the human body, which is what he was looking for. And he went and he came back and he said that this body will ultimately be destroyed and it will be called a dead body. So it is the breath which is the absolute substance. And then, but he knew one day that breath would also stop, and after that he felt it in mind that his mind is the absolute substance. Later it appeared to him that knowledge is the absolute substance, and fifth time the state of happiness seemed to him the absolute substance. Bhrigu went to his father and asked him, I have been doing penance all these days. Nowadays I feel a kind of happiness streaming within me now and then. What is that, right? So he had already experienced bliss, and that is the time when Varun explains to him that what you have experienced is bliss. And he says, again I need to quote, and says, you say that you feel a little amount of happiness erupting in you, that is blissfulness, and which is that substance which you are searching for. Now you are experiencing it in very small portion. Suppose this is fully filled within you, that would be state of supreme blissfulness, right? So sometimes when you're so happy because you're happy, not because you got a new shirt, you got a new pant, or you gave away a new shirt or a new pant, right? That is not what is blissfulness. Blissfulness happens from within, and it can happen, it can be in small streams. It can be the fact that you don't have to work somewhere, the fact that you're financially independent, that you have enough more to be able to give to people, right? So when you reach that stage, when you have no need to look at anything outside for your own happiness, is the state of supreme blissfulness which Varun Bhagwan describes. There is the Atma, which is the source of all the substance, breath, mind and knowledge, and goes beyond all those substances. The supreme blissfulness occurs only with the Atma consciously becomes aware of its own self. This is Shankaracharya quoting Varun Bhagwan from the scriptures. So just one small drop of that supreme blissfulness ocean flows within us, and that too very occasionally. If you are sitting, he describes it very beautifully as you are sitting under a tree in a thick forest, and the sun rays are not allowed to come in, but suddenly there is breeze, and the trees make way for the sun rays to come in, and that's how we get our blissfulness. So the question is to be in a place where you get tons of it and be more and more happy with what you have, right? Similarly, the state of blissfulness keeps flowing into us now and then, like the sun rays coming to you. But due to our bad karma and our impure mind, it is obscured from our sight, like how the sun's rays flow to the ground from the gap created by the wind. But once you eradicate all your bad karma, you will be in a position of bliss, right? So seeking to be in a position of bliss itself is going to create stress, and once having reached the stage of blissfulness, not knowing that you are blissful also is helpful, because once you know you're in a state of bliss, then you try desperately to make sure that you don't come out of that state. That's also very difficult. So choose what is your state of bliss, your own level of happiness, and your level of happiness inside you, which makes you so happy that you don't need anything outside to be happy. I think that is how I would define bliss. So now we'll go and seek bliss outside, and then we feel that I need to be in a state of bliss. It's difficult. Seek it from inside. Thank you.